today I'm joined by Delicious Tacos, the internet's favorite fiction writer, a pseudonymous mystery man. That is the author of a very famous blog, a host of collections of short stories, and I think currently two novels, is it?
I have one novel, and then I'm working on another one. And I have
Okay.
three collections out there that I'll shill heavily throughout this podcast. So
Yes, please
don't
do
worry.
because they're highly worth shilling. They're not non-commercial in the best of ways, and yeah, I definitely enjoy your work. So welcome. Thanks for
Thank
coming
you.
on.
Yeah, my novel is called Finally Some Good News. My new collection, Savage Spear of the Unicorn, is about to turn 1 year old next month. And then my most famous book is called The Pussy by Delicious Tacos, which is about, it's basically what it sounds like, The Pussy. So go buy The Pussy today. There's my shilling.
Exactly. Please do go and purchase the pussy. And it's actually, to be honest, that's the book I've read of yours. I haven't read your whole opus, but the pussy, I have to say, I endorse it.
Thank
So
you. Yes, I'm glad
people.
you enjoy The Pussy. Look, the novel Finally Some Good News is the best thing I've ever done. The new one I'm working on, I hope, will be the best thing I've ever done when it's finished, but the progress on it has been maddeningly slow. It's been an insane year of isolation, house arrest. I'm experiencing cognitive decline as though I'm, stuck in a nursing home tied to a hospital bed. It's been insane, and I feel like, I'm going to explode into some self-destructive craziness as soon as I'm allowed to walk into a pizza restaurant with other people without a mask on my
Oh my
face.
God.
Like, the California lockdowns have been so oppressive and insane, and I forget that other places just haven't been like this. We've had the longest lockdown in the world, and it's forced me to reckon with the fact that even without this, I already was leading a pretty tame and isolated life, and just sort of tweaking it slightly, like adding like 30% more isolation, has driven me crazy. I've done everything that you're supposed to do according to Manly Man Twitter, right? Like I stacked cash. I worked hard in my daytime career. I emphasized my side hustle. I began raking in money from both of those things, which I invested in stocks and cryptocurrency. I took up hand to hand combat. I lifted weights vigorously. I learned archery. I bought a rifle and I learned how to shoot the rifle. And I've done all these manly things. I started taking fish oil. I take collagen. I
Glycine?
Yeah, no glycine. There's a limit to the amount of heartburn and diarrhea I can tolerate.
Oh,
The
Jesus.
reality is that all supplements are horseshit, and if they did anything, they would be illegal. So at the beginning of the plague, I bought vitamin D, vitamin E, vitamin C, and zinc, and I started taking them, and they just gave me severe heartburn and diarrhea. Like, what I really need at my age is steroids. Nothing is going to do anything for me besides testosterone or steroids, and I'm too chicken shit to take those things because I don't. There's no free lunch, and once you stop taking them, your balls are going to turn into dry raisins, and not
Yeah.
produce any natural any endogenous testosterone anymore,
You
as they
need
say.
to be, kind of embedded in some kind of medical system and be really rich and just have some friend doctors that you really trust, and then just make your peace with the fact that you're going to be on a testosterone drip until the day you die from probably.
Maybe. I mean, look at people who are definitely taking it. Like, it still doesn't do that much for you, right? Like, Peter Thiel allegedly gets blood transfusions from 18-year-olds, and he still just looks like a normal dude. He doesn't look like he's 18 himself. God bless him, but he looks like a healthy middle-aged man. There's just nothing you can do. I also don't like. I'm concerned about losing my strength and my reaction time, and all this other shit. I mean, when I go out and box, when I spar in boxing, it's clear that I'm about 75 years old physically. But I would rather have that than go bald or have acne or any of the other shit that steroids do to you.
Does it? Oh shit! It does it make you go bald?
I'm sure it does. I'm sure as soon as I started taking that stuff, I'd immediately lose. I'm already in Norwood 3, which is about like if you saw me now, I can't show my face on camera because I have a job, but I've taken to brushing my hair forward in the full Caesar
Uh oh.
to make it look like I have a young man's hairline. I've
The thing
started
is,
like I'm watching
people
old
can
movies.
tell. People can tell. There's a limit to that. If you
Yeah,
just
there.
fluff
Yeah,
it up a bit,
I'm
but
not at Trump level where I have the hideous comb over, but I look. Have you seen Phantom Thread?
no.
Okay, I have the watch Phantom Thread. I have the Reynolds Woodcock hairline, which is not quite bald per se, but it's just maximum widow's peak. Like my widow's peak goes about down to the middle of my back, but there's this peninsula of hair in the middle of it, and that itself, like my forehead is growing larger. I have a giant head to begin with, so it's weird. Like I'm picturing myself bald. Like people are like, you start like every man loses some hair, and like there's a just Bicket contingency. And if I just Bicket, I look like a fucking conehead. I've got an enormous, like I cannot wear normal sized hats. Like I would need to have like specially made hats. Maybe it's because of my giant brain. It's a good thing and it's a blessing. But
Yeah,
anyway,
apparently hair loss, yeah, like you said, is correlated with too much testosterone. I always thought, poor hyper testosterone, alpha males, they're condemned to have testosterone burn their hair off.
yeah, that's what it is. That's such cope and horseshit. The idea that hair loss is due to being an alpha male. It's always with the two examples of sexy bald men, which are Jason Statham and Sean Connery, both of whom were, you know, professional athletes turned action movie stars. Like the average guy that is turning into the
Come
commish
on.
hairline is not an alpha male.
Vin Diesel before he started melting, I think was pretty much alpha, I think.
I don't
And
know
then
about Vin Diesel. I think Vin Diesel probably, Vin Diesel is a movie star. So that means he's the biggest pussy in the world. I don't. I think that Vin Diesel obsesses over his skincare regimen, and is probably going to get a facelift.
yeah, I mean, I'm Eastern European, so I have absolutely terrible taste in action movie stars. Like the biggest people here were Jean-Claude Van Damme,
Right, Steven
which
Seagal.
and Steven Seagal, exactly,
Yeah,
and Don the Dragon Wilson, which everyone loves
I've
here.
not seen a lot of Don the Dragon movies, but yes, well, those movies are popular overseas because they transcend language. Like you guys can have. It doesn't really matter what you're saying. You can kind of pick it up, and then it's just going to lead to a fist fight.
Yeah,
It's
and
weird.
you're
Eastern Europe is a strange thing, and like Eastern Europe and Russia, because you guys are a true high and low. Like you have the pinnacle of literature came from your region, and a lot of brilliant classical music came from your region, and then also the absolute nadir of taste. There's a lot of people that are into extremely stupid shit.
Yeah, I mean, we've got the blinginess of the nouveau riche,
Hmm.
where you kind of want to combine Western street style with
Hmm.
almost like African dictatorship levels of gold.
Yes.
So you this is what you get. You get people in Adidas tracksuits with chains, and that adore German car making because that's kind of the lore that comes from the West. Everything's like filtered through multiple borders, so
Hmm.
at the end, by the time it gets to Romania, it's already very very diluted, and people are like, what does it mean to look good? And then you just squat next to a BMW because
Yeah.
that's a symbol of the things that you get from the West.
Once you get east of Poland, I think like you're not quite white people. You're very, very white appearing, but like it should be another race.
Spicy white.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally, yeah, yeah. The cabbage whites,
And
not
also,
the same.
men that are just incredibly brutal, um, extremely skilled fighters with, brute power. Every guy from Russia is terrifying.
Yeah.
I'm not scared of any white man unless I hear the hint of the fucking Eastern Bloc accent, and then I just know that he could easily twist me into a pretzel or throw, a 1-2 that shatters my jaw and does permanent brain damage.
Yeah, I think that's also a lot of marketing. There's like the Cronenberg movies and shit. Eastern
Yeah.
Promises. Yeah, I don't know if they're that tough. I mean, I know a handful of them, and I mean, but to be honest, I've
Yeah.
lived in the West for 10 years, and those guys are real pussies. But
My
so are these
understanding
guys.
of the culture only comes from like Russian dash cam videos.
Oh yeah, Russian dash cam
I
videos.
only see a road rage. I'm sure, yeah, people are relaxing, watching television, and enjoying
Yeah,
KFC like normal people.
they're just the dash cam videos. They're from the heartland. Like that's
Mhm.
like deep,
Yeah,
deep.
Alabama, right?
The Alabama of Russia, like Novosibirsk and stuff like that. That's where you get the dash cam boys. But in
Yeah,
these
that's
small
hardcore.
cities
Like
and stuff.
weird risk territories that you get one army for conquering.
Yeah, and there's like one city, and then the rest is Siberian steppe for 2 days. So
Hmm.
yeah, not the best. Well, I wanted to chat to you about the way sex and sexuality and lovemaking and all this type of stuff is
Love making.
represented. Lovemaking,
You
because
wanted to talk
lovemaking
to me
is.
about love making?
I want to talk to you about lovemaking because I really do not like the way lovemaking is represented in a lot of modern literature. And why I'm calling it this is because a lot of the stuff that deals with sex at the moment is written by those New Yorker style essay
Hmm.
women who had one encounter with a man who, I don't know, he didn't shower or he was grunted in a weird way, and then the whole story is about some weird awkward physical thing, and then it breaks off into fractals of what does that mean for myself as a woman in this circumstance, and it's all like concentric circles of feeling, and god damn it, I really don't like reading that stuff. And in a way I
Yeah,
feel like your stuff is kind of like diametrically opposed. It kind of, it's not really the angle of the guy who hasn't showered, but it's kind of like this Dionysian force where you just kind of lay it out there, and it's not about what does this mean for me as a man in this circumstance and stuff. It's like, okay, this is what's going on. This is kind of the closest descriptor that I have for my state.
yeah.
Do with it as you please.
Well, I'm kind of anti-intellectual that way, right? I think that the writers you're describing, right, women who write for the New Yorker, are reading a lot of criticism, and they're it's almost like they're too well read, and they can't help but imitate what they think they should be writing. I do my best to only write from real life and real emotion. I think the further that you get away from your actual feelings and experiences, the worse your writing gets. It happens that I'm incredibly horny, and I still don't know if other guys are just like me and they're lying, or if every man is like me. But my horniness is brutal. It is absolutely savage, and uh, it's just such a powerful reality. It's like a storm. It's like the weather. It clearly, like, it comes from God. So I just do my best to be as honest about that as possible. And I have no hang up. Part of, the good thing about being anonymous is I have no hang ups about it, right? I don't have to deal with going into work and then people saying, "Hey, tacos, I saw your post this weekend about, jerking off to some fucking underage Mexican," like, right? Um, but I also, who knows what you're also bringing up women, and I think that women, like, this is the sort of Bene Gesserit place they dare not look, right? I don't think women understand their own sexuality. I certainly don't understand women's sexuality. I don't think women have sexuality in the same sense that men do. I don't think there's the same urgency. I'm sure they have some other drive that is just as valid and real, but I don't know what it is. And it's not just raw horniness. Like, you don't see a fat girl bending over or the equivalent of that, right? You don't see, like, your plumber comes over and he's wearing tight pants and you just see that he's got a
No,
big fucking
there
big
is an
meaty
equivalent.
rutabaga outlined against his
No.
jeans, and you fucking think about tasting it, right? Whereas i'll see
No
i'll
way.
see a woman that is, by a snob's standards disgusting, and they're part, a very part of me, and when I say part of me, I mean, like, 90% of me wants to just open up the ass crack and feast like a man who's been at sea, who's been served a Thanksgiving dinner. I just want to stick my face in it and feast. And I
Yeah.
think all men are like this. And now I think you can condition it out of yourself, but I also I embrace it because I enjoy it. It's good if we live we live a non-natural life, and especially this past year it's been compounded. And so it's good to embrace part of you that was given to you by nature.
Yeah, I feel like there is a female equivalent to this, but
What is it?
it doesn't have the outline of this at all. There's no rutabagas involved, but it
Right.
is kind of a it's essentially, I mean, now I'm going to be speaking for every woman, obviously. Women, please, tell me I'm an idiot, but it's this kind of it's the fetishization of status in a way. It's this kind of
Sure.
imagining yourself being the most desired. You can go to crazy places mentally, and it can
Right.
get to that level of like Dionysian ecstasy if you are the object of ultimate desire. And a lot of women, especially beautiful women, they kind of lose themselves in this whole thing, and they just kind of play these games, and that's why they get crazy when they get older. And there's quite a lot of Tonian forces that bubble up from this direction. Obviously, it doesn't really refer to every man. It actually, in a way, it refers to only one man.
Hmm.
The man, and then it's kind of like what is your relationship to that man, and it's all very in your head, obviously, because as you said, it's not going to involve the plumber. It's going to involve probably some Harlequin romance shit.
Right.
But the forces are there. They're just not as yeah, you don't interact with them very often in the day-to-day existence.
That still doesn't sound like a good parallel for wanting to eat fat Mexican ass. That sounds a little too intellectual. I would say that I think the closest thing is probably, in terms of urgency, is a mother's desire to protect her child. A mama bear wanting to protect her cubs is the closest thing you guys can feel to horniness. And probably, I think the mama bear wants to protect her cubs less than I want to fuck a porky Mexican. I
I
think
wouldn't
my
be
my
able
urge is stronger.
to to know exactly. We'd have to get some seismic readings on that one,
Hmm.
but yeah.
Yeah, there's no parallel. There's no parallel between the male and female experience of sexuality. There's isn't, and that's fine. Again, you guys have some other thing. Yeah. Here's one thing: like women, though, like it is a shame. So again, going back to your stereotype of the fucking New Yorker bitch, it's so true, and it's such a shame because I believe that women are naturally better at understanding and interpreting literature, and when they're really on, probably can be better at creating literature. But they there is a dearth of really honest women out there. Like I really want to
Yeah.
understand women's experience, and you kind of have to get at it sideways. I'm interviewing tons of women for this new book, and some of them are, and they have incredible stories and they have incredible insights, and yet they're so private about it. You're not, they're not putting it out there. Maybe we need more anonymous women. Maybe we need, it's easier for women to have a career in so-called confessional writing, and it always gets packaged in this exo Jane it happened to me way, right? So there were classic essays in the early 2000s. There was this genre, and it was specifically like exo Jane it happened to me, about I was raped by so and so.
Mhm.
And uh, I think editorial pressures took what was the kernel of an interesting story, and what they did was, it was erotica, um, but it always it always drags it out, and it has to have 3,000 words of extremely uninteresting fluff, with the promise of a rape payoff at the end, or whatever, whatever crime, or embarrassment, or whatever it was, whatever crime was committed by a man on this woman who's writing, I had sex with my father, something something something, whatever it was. It always had to be the most boring version, where it starts out with a bunch of horse shit and then has the part that you want to read, which is her father fucking her, as almost a punchline. um, I think that it's easier to find career success as a woman writer and institutional success because most people who buy books and magazines are women, and that works against aesthetic and artistic success for women because it's easy for them to get trapped into a plausible idea of making fame or money. Like, I don't ever think about, cancel culture. I don't ever, but people, the number one question people ask me is about like self-publishing and like, don't you ever, would you ever get a publishing deal? Nobody is ever going to give me a publishing deal. I've always known this, and it's never even entered my mind. So I have freedom to do whatever I want. I don't have to chase after any vision that's not my own, and I don't have to write about I don't have to do the grift of like writing about racism, or saying that anti-racism is just as bad, or writing about or feminism or any of that shit, or money, Silicon Valley economics, any of the other horse shit meaningless topics that are always garbage to support advertising, always, with no exceptions. So uh, I think that's why we're not getting honest women that we really need. I think now is that, the irony being that people are making an effort to hear women's voices, and what we're hearing is women's voices forced into a commerce shaped hole.
Yeah, and it's I think it's partially the commercial incentive, and it's also the pandering. You know, the culture is
Yeah,
kind of bent into that direction. It's almost impossible to see reality if you're a woman, because typically women tend to be more agreeable. They tend to kind of go along to get along. They tend to kind of they bend to power in a much more it is more useful for a woman to bend to power than for a
yeah,
man who could be making either a living by being kind of an outlier. You don't want to be an outlier when you're a woman, so whatever comes
sure.
down the straw pipe.
That's a compassionate way of saying that they're mercenary social climbing careerists.
Yeah, I mean I guess that's that's at the fringes. Yeah, that's probably your sociopathic women. They get quite a lot of opportunities from
Hmm.
this arrangement. But I think your average girl is it's almost impossible for her to see what's going on, because of this constraint, and because of the cultural constraint. And it's also, I don't know, as a woman you kind of feel like the culture is begging you to present yourself as a victim. It's
Right.
like, come on, tell us a sad story. Come on, what
Well,
did this do to you?
with writing specifically too, writing is a huge pain in the ass, and it takes a really long time to get good at, and it requires many hours of lonely work, and you kind of have to be insane to want to do it. I spend my a lot of my Sundays just, look, I work hard all week, and my job involves a lot of writing, and then on the weekends I sit alone in front of a document, editing down something that may never be shown to anybody. And now, if what you want is the fruits of writing, which is fame, attention, money, respect, there are ways to get it that appear so much easier, that look like hacks, Instagram, Twitter, podcasting. Not to defame podcasting, but it's easier than writing. um, Writing is the hardest thing to do with the least likely payoff, and especially money. It's the least valued economic activity in the world. So I don't blame people for not, part of there's a dearth of women writers, there's a dearth of writers in general. And I don't fucking blame them. It's a thankless hobby. You really have to be a specific kind of nut to do it. The flip side of that is it's one of the few valid art forms left when it's good. There's a ton of garbage out there, but nothing hits you like a good book.
Yeah, yeah, and there's also not you don't really get an edge as a woman if you're just if you're going to be an anonymous blogger. It's not a format that appeals to women.
No, you got to fucking show face for sure.
Yeah, it's it's also kind of like you kind of want to be a woman doing it as well. It is a weird thing because I don't know if this is like entrenched feminist propaganda or something, but it's kind of like there's a satisfaction in being like a lady X. It's like in a
Hmm.
way it's kind of
Yeah,
like
as
seeing
a woman,
as
yeah.
a woman, it's like seeing like this is gonna sound really harsh, ladies, excuse me, but like seeing like a dog drive a car, it's like, wow, that's interesting. It's not another dude driving a car. It's
To see, so you're saying that to see a woman simply accomplish something is like a
yeah,
dog driving a car?
yeah. Please do quote me on this. No, it's just kind of there's that kind of outlier effect in it. It's you want it to be known that something's you've been doing stuff, and it's out there, and this
Right.
lady's done it, and
And you've overcome so many obstacles to do it, not like men
exactly.
whom everything is handed to.
Yeah,
Sure.
that's some I mean that's the feeling that our current culture gives me. That's kind of the
Yeah.
incentive structure that pushes that stuff.
Well,
As a
you're much
woman.
more. I think you're more sexist than me. Because again, I think that that women are naturally just have tend to have more of a natural gift, at least for interpreting literature, right? Like I get far fewer uh, stupid, simple-minded misinterpretations of my work from women than I do from men. Like men want to lay their agenda on top of everything, and they sort of want, or they want to shoehorn your thoughts into their sort of monomaniacal, stupid political views. And like women are much more, they're better at like picking up subtle nuances that you put into writing, I think. Maybe just, maybe I'm blessed to be communicating with select geniuses, because
Yeah,
because I'm talking about like 5 women read my shit and 10,000 men. So
I think
there's some
that's it.
self-selection
I think
going on
that's
there.
it. Because the thing is, when I also interact with a lot of kind of guys who come from like the PUA and men's rights chambers, and the top guys in those circles, they're really obviously quite deep thinkers, and there's quite a lot of good stuff coming out of that. But the guys at the
Wait,
bottom, we're just like
wait. Let me contest this for a second. So first of all, who do you mean by the top guys in those circles? I've been in the PUA world for a long
I
time
mean,
on its
the
fringes.
top guys. I mean, the top guys would be listing people, but I've heard smart stuff from like Rollo Tomasi, and
Sure.
Roosh has good stuff as well.
Okay.
I don't
Yes.
know, Neil Strauss, shit like
So
that.
you're
The
saying,
top
okay,
guys.
the regular Mount Rushmore of PUA, of like
Yeah, I mean,
thinking
I
man's
don't
PUA
know
is Roosh,
everyone in
Hartiste,
the in
Rollo,
the
the
group.
three R's, right?
Yeah.
And then I don't know. I don't know that Neil Strauss is not a great intellectual for plagiarizing notes from Underground in the beginning of his book. I love the game. I love Neil Strauss's books, but who knows? He also fucking tries to shill you like well-being seminars. I think he's become.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people in these circles kind of go almost, Buddhist punk or something. It's all about the holistic stuff, and I don't know. Is this kind of what's happened to PUA? You either become like a Republican or a Buddhist.
So what did happen? I think what's weird about the only two guys that I really know about are Roosh and Hartiste, um, both of whom made sudden philosophical turns very quickly. Right, both of whom talked about pussy, talked about pussy, talked about pussy. Suddenly, Roosh is talking about Jesus, and or the Jews, and like Hartiste talk about pussy, talk about pussy, talk about pussy, and the Jew is using the black as muscle to overthrow white Christian society. Like, I understand if, look, I found God as part of sobriety, and the pussy details a lot of that journey, but it wasn't a sudden light switch experience for me. And I think there's something jarring about how fast their changes happen to them. It's just weird, right? Like, I love and respect Roosh, and I find him to be a very interesting character, but there are things that are really unpalatable about look, I don't want to come out sounding like some fucking social justice pussy, but like I think he could use like 30% less railing against the Jews, um, you know, and the gays and whoever else, and try to have peace, love, and understanding for all people.
Yeah, yeah.
I
That
think it's
was
healthy. Look, a little anti-Semitism is healthy, right? But like
yeah, a
maybe,
sprinkling, just
yeah,
enough.
just a
Yeah.
soupçon.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of wanted to ask you. I mean, about Roosh. I actually have a question about Roosh here because he
Sure.
seems to be like the trad guy now, or at least I didn't really know about the anti-Semitism as much because to be honest, I don't follow him that closely.
I don't think, and I don't want to accuse him of anything, right? I just there's a lot of conspiracy minded shit, and a lot of his version of it seems to you know. I read the Roosh V forum, so I don't want to attribute to Roosh himself what ought to be attributed to the collective on the forum, which is
Yeah,
shares a lot
don't
of
judge people by their
it, which
commenters, man.
overlaps with a lot of other kind of right wing places, and
Yeah.
is people sort of generally want to escalate the conversation to a more and more edgy level in these communities. But sorry, go ahead, make your point.
Yeah, yeah, no, that was another point. I kind of circling back to it's the whole kind of there is a layer in every group, every movement. Everyone's got. I don't want to just say it's like the bottom layer, but it is. There's
Yeah,
people who have maybe they just don't have the capacity to have multiple frames of reference. They have
yeah.
one big idea, and that's their lens on the world, and it's like women
I also
are the devil or Jews.
I do believe that men's like PUA communities, there is a certain amount of feds trying to force white supremacy on it to create a farm team of domestic terrorists that they can then arrest. I think that
Hmm.
absolutely happens, and I think the Heartiste comment section is absolutely a you know like the equivalent of a salmon farm for the federal government to entrap a lot of impressionable lonely men into the same way that they do. Whenever you hear about a big terrorism arrest, it's always like the FBI creates a fake terror plot, finds a mentally
Yeah.
disabled man, emails him, hey, do you want to fucking bring this bomb to the church on Thursday? And he's like, sure. The entire thing is just fake, the same way that the To Catch a Predator thing is a bunch of adults pretending to be 14-year-old girls. And then some some waterhead says yes, and then they arrest it. It's a big headline, and it's law enforcement are like reporters are basically like salespeople with quotas to meet, and the quota is ruining a certain amount of people's lives.
Yeah.
And anytime I get into any online forum and they're talking about hating blacks and Jews, like some of that I think is, some of it's organic, and then some of it is being fomented from a top down sense, so that these salespeople can keep their pipeline of fake terrorism robust.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I'm relatively new to Twitter, and I keep people in the U.S. keep telling me there's feds everywhere, and I feel like I am totally oblivious of this whole dimension because I mean I'm in Romania. I mean, what does the FBI
Right.
have to do with me? But it seems to be. I mean, I'm sure they do have to do stuff with
Well,
Romania.
the FBI has nothing to do with you, but I'm sure the CIA would have something to do with you if you know
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah,
were
true.
saying things they were
True.
interested in.
Yeah, I don't. To be honest, I have no idea. I'm a total noob, and I'm sure I get weird messages. Like one guy once wrote me, or whatever, one entity on Twitter once wrote me that like, oh, I really like your writing. Have you been known to frequent Sallow Forum with the likes of Bronze Age Pervert and
Right.
what? This is a very strange question,
And
dude.
also, while I have you, can you please ship me some surplus Romanian AK-47s to the follow?
Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, I don't even know what one should do. What's your strategy if you get a message like this? Obviously, don't respond. But like, is there something? Is there a way to insulate
you
yourself?
know, I jump right in. I typically give them, I tell them that I intend to create homemade explosives that I use to blow up the, United States power grid. I'll suggest, purchasing bulk quantities of assault rifles that have folding stocks and pistol grips and, magazine
I need
capacities
to
in
write
excess
this
of 10
down.
rounds. Yeah. I'll
Yeah.
ask
Okay.
I'll ask if they have any videos of their 16-year-old sister, the usual stuff.
Okay. Yeah. I mean that sounds plausible. If I did it, yeah,
Yeah.
should be good.
Who knows? I've never had any like feds come at me except I think one time I made a post about getting some guns or something and somebody commented like, "Hey, you want to sell me any of those guns?" And that was just too obvious, but otherwise like I'm so irrelevant that uh I rarely get the exciting right wing shit that happens to other people, like shadowy billionaires trying to fund them to make propaganda or whatever other, Robert Mercer horse shit is going on. Like that rarely happens to me. I don't get the Peter Thiel money offer. I don't get, there's no my work. First of all, doesn't have a right wing message, and second of all, I think people understand that I'm not a very effective propagandist. Like I really just talk about pussy. So I
Yeah.
get to I get to exist outside of all the conspiracies.
Yeah, the trad calf angle and the the right wingness, at least in
Yeah,
kind of like virtue
the
ethics, doesn't work with
trads.
you.
There's two flavors of trads, and one I love and appreciate, and one I absolutely hate. Right. So somebody who has found God, like I have a relationship with God. Like I prayed to God before being on your podcast. Like, please let me be of service to Alex and to her audience, and please let me tell the truth and spread your message to the world, Lord. Right. So some trad cats say nice things to you and are like, you should, and support my efforts to like watch birds, be in nature, have wholesome relationships, raise my feral cat, and get closer to God, right? And then others are like calling me a degenerate and saying that I'm leading young men astray and I'm disgusting, I'm doing evil and bringing evil into the world. And it's like, did God tell you to say that? You know, did God tell you to say that, you fucking chump? Like these guys are like 1 degree away from being incel van killers, the angry trad cats. And there's nothing worse than a fucking an angry censorious Catholic, you know? I mean, the ADL can get pretty bad, but like Catholics have their own flavor because it's combined with like drunken Irish rage or something. And
Yeah,
you know,
there's
even
definitely.
even Protestant evangelicals are not that uptight because everybody knows that they're secretly doing meth and sucking dick or fucking molesting their kids. Like, there's something about like and by the way, I respect Catholicism. I will probably convert to it one day. And I find the history of the church fascinating, but there's a certain kind of clenched Catholicism that has to do with like, there's a lot of repressed homosexuality going on and all this other shit that gives you rage, right? There's rage, and there's rage specific to sexuality. And I get a lot of those guys coming at me, and it's like, blow it out your ass. Like, I know that God didn't tell you to go spout off on Twitter about how great you are and about how much somebody else sucks, because I don't, maybe I'm crazy, but like I talk to God and like that's what he tells me is to be less of a dick, right? I mean, look, maybe God has other plans for other people. He's giving people other messages. Maybe
Yeah,
he really is, look, I don't want to speak for the man upstairs. Maybe maybe these people are right about God's plan and I'm wrong.
to be honest, I mean, only time will tell. When
Yeah.
we'll have to deal with this on a one-on-one basis
Right.
at one point. Yeah.
Right. Oh shit, right.
there's
Fuck.
um there's quite a kind of a sweetness to your writing, as far as I've gotten into it. There's kind of this vision of a life beyond yourself. Maybe it's this faith that you have, and kind of this kind of beyond the rainbow. There is this life that is kind of trad sometimes. Kind of, you conjure kind
Yes,
of a bit of
my
a trad
vision is
aesthetic.
my
um
dream life is 100% trad. It's the farm, the wife, the wife that I give love to unconditionally, love and support and protect her. you know?
Yeah. And sometimes I feel like the punchline is that you're kind of still you don't 100% believe in this vision, or maybe I'm
Yeah.
misinterpreting it. It's like,
Right. Every time I actually encounter a woman in real life, that vision takes another blow. You
yeah.
know, right? And then it became like, I whipsaw back into thinking that women are, subhuman garbage, or like some sort of like cunning demons that are only out to torture me, and like real evil sadists. And their
Yeah.
gift, like the woman's gift, is not brute physical strength, but rather an ability to manipulate us like puppets into embracing the most evil side of ourselves for their own sick pleasure.
Yeah, that's one way of putting it. You're definitely
Yeah.
you definitely got the plasticity of language there. But I feel like there's there's something there. You're not just like someone who presents this degenerate life. So you don't really say that, okay, this is aspirational. You don't say, okay,
Right.
this is my life. I'm the
Yeah.
Hugh Hefner of
That's the
like
big
Saigon prostitutes. Like,
that's the mistake, and that's the misinterpretation, and that's how stupid people see my work. Like, I think men get a lot of garbage thrown at them. First of all, there's so much like in our circles, whatever you call it. There's so much male advice, right? Men are telling you, everybody is selling you a $40 PDF that tells you to sleep and drink water. And every people are not sophisticated enough sometimes to see that I'm not self-aggrandizing. I'm self-deprecating, right? I don't
yeah,
have any answers, and I'm just relaying my experience. But people are so used to reading garbage sales letters from horseshit merchants online that and so they have an unsophisticated literary palate, and they think that I'm one of these guys, and I'm not, right? I'm not telling you how to live. And yes, it's the life that I've had has been very painful. um, and I've, God knows, I mean, look, I've fucked more women than Caligula, and where did it leave me? I think uh, and I want to do it again. Every day. I'm 45 years old. I still want to wake up and do it again. I want to fuck that hooker again. Now, when you say third world hookers, Saigon hookers, I've not been to Vietnam, but I take your point, right? We're talking about the Philippines, Thailand, Cambodia,
yeah.
601, half a dozen of the other. Like, when I'm doing that, it's not this evil experience either. I'm not out there being like, "Ugh," it's they're, you talk to them, they're human beings, they're interesting people, they've got interesting life stories. It's not They're not sex trafficked slaves. They have the ability to say no to me. Would they fuck me for free? I don't know. But and it's also it's insulting to think that to fuck me is some great crime, right? Like, it's a human rights violation to have to lay in bed with my, like I'm some disgusting creature. Like, I'm not. It's I don't know quite how to explain it, but I'm
Yeah.
not there like smacking them around and like watching their tears. Like, these girls are fucking hoes. They're horny. They don't mind fucking. As far as jobs go, it beats working in a salt mine. And I like talking to them, hearing their stories. I still stay in touch with many of them years later. None of them have tried to exploit me, scam me, blackmail me, tell me that they're gonna, show to my mother on Facebook that I fuck teenage whores in the Philippines. Like, they're curious about life in America. I'm curious about life in the Philippines. They have great senses of humor. We laugh and joke together, and it's a human relationship with these third world whores.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tricky thing, because I mean, you're describing now your relationship with these girls, and I feel like it's absolutely fair enough, and I'm sure the parameters of your relationships with them are yours. The fact that shit
I
happens
could
to
tell
these
you don't
girls.
buy it, and that's
I
totally
I
understandable.
I buy. I mean, I'm from Romania. I know women who've been trafficked. I know kind of how this shit goes. It's like
Yeah.
the consent to me sounds, it's good, it's really good, but I feel like it's a necessary but not sufficient condition for these things.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, you're
it's a
saying
multi-layered thing.
what you're saying is everything I just told you is a bunch of horseshit cope, which may be accurate. You may be right.
I feel, I mean, if the stripper likes you, I'm really happy for you. That's all I can say, man. But this is yeah, this is the oldest profession in the world. It's not something I'm going to be writing a blog post about and then kind of relieving our
Yeah.
civilization from. This is super super layered, super nuanced. I get it, and
Yeah, yeah. I'm not lifting these girls out of poverty either. I'm fucking three of them a day and bailing and leaving town. So
yeah, I'm curious what you think about normalizing and about kind of saying, okay, this is like you said, these are absolutely human beings. They're doing a job. It's easier than the salt mines. Should we just destigmatize, normalize, and just say it's just another accountancy job? They're just horizontal rather than vertical while they're doing it.
hmm right. I think that the work that prostitutes do and the transactions that Johns make are much more morally sound than, for instance, what a private equity person does, or an investor, or any kind of business professional or salesperson. I think what they do is at least morally neutral, while what most wealthy people who made their own money in America do is, you know, morally evil. So
Yeah,
I,
I
these whores are better people than. Uh, I'm trying to think of a business person, a specific one that's an example, but that's who knows.
Yeah, who knows exactly? All of them.
Yeah,
But yeah, I feel like on an individual level, I'm not for bringing the wrath of God onto any individual prostitute because she's desecrating her body or whatever. But I really do feel like on a societal level, there is some benefit in saying, okay, this is a job unlike other jobs, especially just
yeah,
just as a warning to girls, because I feel like I know
yeah.
a lot of
No,
women
it's
who have.
not. Yeah, it's not good. You're not going to come out of being a hooker and then, can you make a hoe into a housewife is the question, and probably not. But can you make me into a housewife? Right? Like I've fucked more people than these whores have probably, and I guess the answer is yes. It has made me probably too jaded to have a relationship, and I'll probably die alone.
I mean, yeah, I don't have a comeback to that, and I mean, I hope that's not the case. So we don't want to start crying now, but it's yeah, this type of stuff, you can. I don't know how it is for men. Obviously, I don't have the standpoint epistemology to have that reflection. Obviously, I only know about men from your stories, but
Yeah,
um,
that's a good. Yes, all men are exactly like me. When you go to the grocery store,
God
like,
forbid.
and there's a guy, whatever you're buying in Romania, the guy selling you your
My
borscht.
AK-47, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Um, like he's thinking like me. What's going through his head as he looks at you is what's in the pages of that book, The Pussy, as I'm looking at Southeast Asian
That's
titties.
that's what I've believed my whole life. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just confirming everything I already knew. When he
Yes.
stops doing that, I'll be like, oh, there's a problem.
Yeah, that's when he's really fucked up. That's when he starts railing against the Jews.
Or I'm the problem, I'm losing it,
Yeah,
no.
right.
Yeah, I mean, this is we're joking here, people, it's all funny, but yeah, anyway, I mean, you have also spoken about your struggles with alcoholism, and
Yeah.
you're sober now.
hmm
And it feels like this is one of these hardcore demons. People encounter all sorts of demons in their lives. So I've had the smoking demon, which is a more minor demon, and then there's all these things that kind of come and in a way chain you to your desires. They kind of in a way enslave you, like. Do you feel like while you were kind of under the spell of alcohol, do you feel like you were kind of imprisoned, or did you still feel like you had agency? Like what's the kind of theory of mind of someone who's in the grip of this?
I knew I was an alcoholic, and I knew that someday I would have to stop. What alcohol gave me was the ability to be at peace temporarily with, the anguish of life. Right. Um, Alcoholics Anonymous, which I am a member of now for 7 years, is a sort of daily treatment to help you be at peace with God's plan, which is not always the same as my plan, right? Um, Whatever the world has in store for me, I got to accept it. Alcohol gives you the ability to do that. I would come home every day from my shitty job and drink a pint of brandy, right? And I would feel like I knew I had my problems and I wouldn't care. It's forgetting juice for, the fact that your life is so despair inducing. Um, at some point, alcohol stops working and your emotions grow strong enough that they can penetrate that wall of numbness. Not even, that's not the right word, but you know what I'm saying, the wall of apathy, joyful apathy that alcohol creates. I do think there's a certain percentage of people that are genetically alcoholics, and I'm one of them. If I were not one of those people, I would not have quit drinking, because alcohol is a wonderful tool to make you able to like other people and to like situations. That's what alcohol is for. A social steroid. I am a social cripple 100% without alcohol. I'm a horrible introvert. I go to bed at 9 p.m. I am a, just functioning drone toiling away at my office job. And then, like, in my spare time, I'm writing books. I'm too productive, and all work and no play. And I have a very hard time tolerating. Although coronavirus has done a lot for me socially, because I enjoy conversations so much now because they're so rare. But prior to that, I was a salty old man, because I in a with incredible agonizing self doubt. Um, you want to talk about difficulty talking to women? Like, I could never fucking pick up a girl socially without drinking. And you adapt, you learn skills to get around this, just like you learn how to, move around with no legs. But there's no substitute for being 4 drinks in and talking to a girl at a bar with that steamroller of confidence, unshakable confidence. The problem is that when I start drinking, I have to drink as much alcohol as I have the physical capacity to contain. And that involves, you know, like, I started boxing over Corona, and I recently started sparring, and I got brain damage from the second sparring section. Like, I couldn't do third grade arithmetic the next day. The reason for that is because one time when I was drinking and doing drugs, um, I fell over and hit my head on concrete very hard and lost a lot of time. And that sort of brain trauma sensitizes you to minor brain traumas later in life, right? So I can't get hit in the face even lightly anymore. I got to go have a conversation with my boxing trainer, being like, please don't hit my face, because I can't take what a child in karate class could take anymore, because I've banged my head too many times. I got in a fight when I was drunk and fucking went down a flight of concrete stairs. Like, my brain is damaged from things that I did while drunk. And it's because I don't know when to shut it off when I start. If I do cocaine, I've got to do cocaine for days and stay up jerking off my dick until it bleeds. I've got a real genetic, and it's genetic. I was bred to get fucked up like a racehorse is bred to run.
Is
Um,
this genetic in the sense that you've had this in your family, or you just kind of have a
yeah, my
tradition?
my father was an alcoholic. My mother's father was a very, very bad, very dark, haunted alcoholic.
Mm.
Um, I'm a mixed bag genetically, right? Like, it's nice to be tall. I've got a good six pack. I'm reasonably intelligent. I have pretty eyes. I have, good writing ability, good musical ability, drawing, good fine motor skills generally. Not bad looking. Norwood 3 is not a bad place to be at 45 years old. There's a lot to recommend me genetically, and then there's a lot of reasons why I might not want to continue this lineage on the earth, which is, gnawing, horrible, torturous darkness within me that surfaces every day, that I've struggled my entire life to escape. And alcohol is a wonderful tool for escaping it.
But now you've been sober for a few years,
7 years. Yeah. It's a
7 years. And how?
fucking long time. Imagine not drinking for 7 fucking years.
Yeah, I mean, you're telling me I'm pregnant. I've been pregnant for a long time now, so
Yeah.
I haven't been drinking, not for 7 years, but
Who's the lucky fellow?
who's the baby daddy?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is a
He's
non.
gone.
Yeah, no,
Some
no,
some guy.
he's my husband.
The
Come
cab
on,
driver.
no, we
Yeah.
live together. We're married.
Holy shit.
I'm a good person.
Very exotic.
Yeah, it's pretty strange. Yeah, no, he's literally in this house right now. I swear.
Holy fuck.
Thank you, promise. Um, he's set up this whole podcasting station for me because he's a
Right.
tinkerer. Which,
He went.
so
You sure? You sure he didn't go to the store for a pack of cigarettes and he'll be back any day
we
now?
always joke about that, but he doesn't smoke anymore. We quit together. This is
Okay.
all very romantic.
Uh,
We've straightened up our lives together. So yeah,
nice.
sorry, but he also has no web presence, so he's not a
Thank
person
God.
on the
Yeah.
internet. Yeah, yeah, thank God. You know, if I hear someone else mentioning the discourse that's not in my phone, I might kill someone. So yeah,
That's why he gets to have like a lovely wife and child because he's abstained from the
yeah,
horrible.
I don't want any of you demons. I have enough. I love it. I
Certainly
love
not.
to do it, in my own time, to haunt myself with words. But in reality, I just, want to go out, do bird watching. I mean, we're really into bird watching. Yeah, we're like octogenarians, and yeah,
Yeah.
just
So you found the equivalent of like. So my fantasy is like I'll marry some primitive woman from the Solomon Islands who's never seen Instagram, right? And you found basically the equivalent of that.
Yeah, I mean, he's versed. He's has like an online business. He knows about the internet. He's very like technically adept, but he's just
Hmm.
disinterested in all this, fucking philosophy shit that I like,
Hmm.
which is I think really good because we're very complementary. I'm the word person, and he is the person who actually knows how to do things in reality, which is very useful,
The
especially
STEM
if
person. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I feel like we make a really good couple, and we get along, man. It's amazing to just have someone who's mentally calm and stable, and just doesn't want to go off on a tangent with me into my the demonic realms that my mind can conjure. So it's really good, finding someone who's
Okay.
just has happiness as a baseline. That's all I
All
recommend
right.
for
Well,
whatever.
shit. Okay, so that's the criteria for a husband are mentally calm and stable, and happiness is a baseline, which means that I
Yeah.
am fucked.
But the thing is, you need some because I feel don't want to compare myself to the master literary person here, but I feel like we're maybe
Right.
similarly
I'm
constructed.
the
You
you
know,
in this relationship, right?
you're the niece. You need
I need
someone
to
who's
marry I need to marry a happy idiot, I think.
no, maybe a technically adept woman. I
Oh
don't
my
know,
god, no. Oh, a
someone
technically adept
complimentary.
woman. Oh my god.
Are you technically adept?
Fuck no. No, I'm a complete moron.
You just
You
have to
know,
look for that complementarity. Maybe it's a different axis, someone
sure.
who's just cute and cuddly and just doesn't want to get involved in the darkness of life, and
Yeah.
she'll drag you to the shore, every time you try to float off.
I just want a 6 or above who's not a complete moron and isn't some kind of murderer or trying to steal my organs.
But will
I'll
you be
take that.
happy with her? Or do you have the capacity to be happy with a 6 or above who's not a complete moron?
I don't know. I don't have the capacity to be happy with my Xbox or anything else. Like I just like there is happiness and there's happiness. So I'm a somewhat unhappy person. I accept it, and you can't. You have to stop kicking yourself in the ass for being unhappy, right?
Yeah.
Um, there's another thing that like bothers me about male Twitter, which is like this concept of like mind hacks and mental training techniques and all this other
Mhm.
bullshit. It's all horseshit. None of it works. It's okay to be like unhappy, or this concept of like people always tell me to stop complaining. Blow it out your ass. First of all, every I'm a fucking artist, so that's what we do. And also, this concept of like I understand like gratitude is a good thing, right? There's a good way and a bad way to tell people to be grateful, right? I'm grateful for the trees outside my window and the birds that land on the phone line, but this be grateful you're not living in a war torn Africa is complete horseshit. Those people, I've been to a lot of places like that. The people are way happier than you or me, and obviously, your material status or the fact that you live in a first world country either has nothing to do with your happiness or is negatively correlated with it. So
Yeah.
I refuse to be grateful for horseshit like money, whatever, career status. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess it's a struggle, right? I don't want to like overplay the concept that I'm a miserable ingrate, because I really do have a lot of happiness on a day-to-day basis. But I think that people also have a fair point that it doesn't come across as my in my writing as much as in terms of like my writing is probably 80% complaining and 20% happiness. And that's just because happiness is not that interesting.
Yeah. I mean,
Or
this.
there's only happiness is best expressed in minimal language that serves as a sort of counterpoint to a lot of misery, a lot of very busy misery.
Yeah, I feel like happiness is just the wrong frame. I feel like we've been sold a really shitty bill of goods with happiness because once the purpose of life became the pursuit of happiness, that's essentially just hooking yourself up to like one of these big fleshlights and whatever
Mm,
sensor
yeah.
stimulator you want. And surprisingly, that doesn't really make you happy in the long run. It just kind of makes you chase this super normal stimuli because it's like, oh, I need to hump a bigger and bigger thing or whatever you're into.
What
Um,
yeah, what makes me happy is letting go, right?
mhm.
Not struggling to achieve. I think there's also like there's too much of a push culturally to like drive, achieve, don't be a loser. I think I already have enough internal self ass kicking, right? Like I put out a book. I feel like I haven't written anything good in a long time, and I'm a failure as a writer, and my new novel is coming terribly and all this other shit, and I kick myself in the ass about it constantly. And I put out a book less than a year ago, like less than 1 year. I put out an entirely new book. While working a fucking full-time job. Like I'm a fairly productive person, but it always feels like it's never enough. So when I achieve happiness, it's by letting that all go, not kicking yourself in the ass. If you want to sit there and there's this concept of the loser who smokes pot and plays Xbox all day, right?
Mhm.
If that makes you happy, fucking do it, right? Or like the loser who's fat, the loser who gets no pussy. Like I'm shredded. I look like fucking Brad Pitt in Fight Club. I get tons of pussy. I'm an acclaim. I'm living my dream of being an author who writes good books that are completely honest, beholden to no one. I've got what for me is tons of money, and I'm completely miserable. And you sitting there eating the Domino's pizza, playing Xbox, the mother's basement caricature, I guarantee that person is having a better subjective experience. Video games are so good these days.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the subjective experience moment to moment, you could be optimizing for that,
Yeah.
but then you could be kind of missing the mark in the total scheme of things because everything is so good right now. Like literally food is so good right now. Porn
Mm-hmm.
is so good right now.
Oh
Everything
yeah.
you have, it's so good right now that to me it always reminds me of my cigarette addiction, which started really chill, like, oh, I'm just going to have going out with people, smoking a little bit outside. And then I got to a point where I just kind of had to up the ante, where I was waking up an hour earlier every day just to get in my 6 cigarettes before I had to, schlep to work. Because
Yeah.
I was got to the point where I had to get my smokes in to get to baseline. And
Mm-hmm.
it feels to me like that. It's like, okay, the Domino's pizza is a very similar experience. If you're the guy who's addicted to the Domino's pizza, if you've
Yeah,
constructed your life
that's
around that.
true. You
So you
have to
just
mix
get
it
to
up.
baseline. Yeah.
I use Domino's pizza as a specific example because I eat so healthy. Like I cook all my own meals. I always cook like a steak and some Brussels sprouts and a potato. And once in a while, I'll go over to a buddy's house and he'll order a Domino's pizza, and it's such an exotic thing. Like You know,
Yeah.
you get like
Keep it that way.
yeah,
You
it's
you
got like a
totally.
pizza with chicken on it. You fucking dip it in butter. You put some fucking hot sauce on it. It's
This is
just such a
American stuff. We don't have that stuff here.
it's
No, no way.
gorgeous and it's delicious. It's like it's an aesthetically beautiful experience. Yes, if I ate it every day and I started getting diabetes, like I'm sure I'd feel differently. You
Yeah,
just
you
want,
just wouldn't
you
enjoy
want
it.
what you don't have.
Yeah, you really wouldn't enjoy it. You kind of need, it's a cliche, very cliche. You kind of need the bitter to taste the sweet. The sour
Yes.
taste the sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes life what it is. And I guess that's kind of where you have the meaning. That's why you see a lot of these people. The richer you are, the more ascetic and a fucking monk like people become.
Hmm.
They're on their fasting. They're on their 2-week meditation retreats, out there, cold exposure, all this type of stuff to kind of kick themselves back into out of their stupor. They're not addicted to Domino's pizza, none of them.
Yeah, I'm beginning to understand that with my new hobby of kickboxing, like that that masochism as life. First of all, as a man, you're getting older. It's wanting to defy death. I want to tell the world that I'm still a man. Unfortunately, I'm just not. like I'm just not. Like I've you know any tough guy can still kick my ass, right? I'm just not.
Yeah. I feel, it's everyone. And I think, after a while, maybe it's also because the circles that you run in, as a young person, they just kind of dry out, and you have to do something meaningful because there's also no one really to do anything else with. There's everyone's kind of at the end of their tether at one point, and then you have to do something. Yeah. Well, before I let you go, I want to ask you the question of the show,
All right.
which is: do you have a subversive thinker or someone? Could be a writer. We've had video game developers on. We've had, songwriters, whatever. Someone who's influenced you, is kind of an important figure for you, but you think people might have not heard about, or they might benefit from reading or so.
I'm not going to say anything that anyone hasn't heard of before. A book that I'm reading now that I'm really liking a lot, rereading, is The Last Temptation of Christ by Nikos Kazantzakis. If you are a person who is thinking about your relationship with God and God's relationship with other people in the world, this is a beautiful book to read. I don't have any like niche thing because I'm not a big consumer of culture, right?
Hmm.
Um, so anybody, like, I'll tell you, read Bronze Age Mindset by Bronze Age Pervert. Read The Elementary Particles by Michel Houellebecq. Um, what the fuck? Oh, Sam Pink. That's who people should get into. Buy a book called The Ice Cream Man by Sam Pink. He's a young living male American writer who I think is probably the best living American writer.
Okay.
And I really think that he's a massive stud, very who speaks poetically and honestly. And his books always make me a little envious with how sort of close to the face of God and to the world he gets. He's a person who writes from life. I get you. Whenever you try to build up somebody's book, you always sound like a prissy pussy, like I just did. Like, it's a fucking good book and read it. How about that?
Okay,
Ice Cream
perfect.
Man by Sam Pink.
Awesome. Yeah, I will. I have to admit, I don't really read much fiction, but
Remember to buy, first of all, go to my website, delicious.tacos.com. Read my books, The Pussy, Finally Some Good News, and Savage Spear of the Unicorn. My first book, Hot Naked Tits, is on sale for $1. And that's it.
yeah, that was my next question. But you took it, you ran with it. I love it. Yeah, people do read Mr. Delicious, Mr. Taco's books, because they're really good. You might see glimmers of God in his debauchery, and I think it's quite, it's an important human experience that you're communicating there, and we thank you.
Thank you.